Uncertainty looms over fresh strike as tripartite committee submits minimum wage report. In Kaduna, 35 House of Representative members propose a 6-year single term for the president. On the foreign scene, aircraft carrying Malawi's vice president missing, search on the way. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you, Muskali, for joining us on the News Hour once again. We begin in Abuja as the Tripartite Committee on the new National Minimum Wage has submitted its report to the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu inaugurated the committee back in January this year, tasking it with recommending a new national minimum wage for Nigerian workers across both the public and private sectors. In a statement released on Monday, the Director of Information and Public Relations, Segun Imohisen, announced that the report would be presented to the President upon the return of organized labor leadership from Switzerland. On June 7, 2024, despite efforts, an agreement was not reached between the labor unions and the government. Labor lowers its demand from 494,000 to 250,000, while the government increased its offer to 62,000 naira from an initial offer of 60,000 plus an additional 2,000. While both sides have submitted their reports to the President, who is expected to make a decision and send an executive bill to the National Assembly for the passage of a new minimum wage bill, ultimately to be signed into law by the President. Now, state governors have urged the federal government to enforce a no-meter, no-service policy for all new electricity connections across the country. Now, this recommendation is part of the National Integrated Electricity Policy and Strategic Implementation Plan, detailed in a document from the Nigeria Governors Forum to the Federal Ministry of Power. In the document, state governments emphasize the critical role of electricity meters in closing the substantial metering gap in the country, which is essential for the viability of subnational electricity markets. The governors also advocated for state electricity regulatory commissions to have the autonomy to select the most appropriate meter technology, type and form for deployment within their jurisdictions. Furthermore, the document indicates that states plan to implement varying electricity tariffs within the regions. Addressing the issue of widening down electricity subsidies, the Nigeria Governors Forum stated electricity is a commodity and a product that must be paid for by consumers. The Governors Forum also criticized the federal government's electricity subsidies and financial interventions in the power sector over the past 15 years, deeming them inefficient and ineffective. Elsewhere, the death of 13-year-old Hashimu Wisdom, a resident of Ungwang Nemgero in Kaduna State, has left his family heartbroken and devastated. Wisdom's tragic death is allegedly the result of brutality inflicted by a soldier and members of the Civilian Joint Task Force in the area. His grieving parents are now demanding for justice for their son, whose lifeless body was discovered in the family compound. Trust TV's Bello Musa has more.
This family is in mourning, devastated by the tragic and untimely loss of young Wisdom Hashimu. Wisdom was accused of stealing 10,000 naira from a woman in his compound. The neighbor enlisted her boyfriend, a serving soldier, to exert extrajudicial punishment on the 13-year-old boy. With the assistance of some members of the civilian JTF office in Narai, Wisdom was brutally beaten.
He now take them to JTF office. It's these JTF people that beat my son to the extent he cannot be able to sit down. He cannot stand. When I came back, I found my son fainted. One of our neighbors in the street now went and called the Cadvis. Cadvis people come and carry us to their office. They now interview us. When we told them, they now summon for that soldier man. He came. When he came, he asked him everything. He now said he realized his mistake because my neighbor asked him not to pick the boy, but he picked him because Hope asked him to pick the boy. He now said, oh, this is what happened, and the boy cannot be able to sit down now. We are going to hospital. He says yes, he's ready. He understands that is his fault. He will take them to hospital. Now take us to hospital.
According to her, the stolen money was found in the possession of Hop's brother. Despite this, the incident led to the death of her son, who was reported to have committed suicide on June 6th.
I wasn't know that he hung himself. It's around 9 p.m. because when I came back from school, I see people full the house crying. I don't know. I started crying that it's Hopi will kill my son, not knowing that he even hung himself. It was later, and I heard about hanging. I said, hanging again. Is it because I summoned to the soldier man that he should come that Thursday and bring my balance? Maybe he came. No, I found nobody at home. He murdered my son and went and hung him there because he's the suspect. I'm suspecting that soldier guy and the JTF.
Before his death, Wisdom was writing junior secondary school examinations. His family had high hopes that he would one day make them proud. However, his mysterious death has shattered their dreams, and they are now demanding justice.
Because since then, they are looking for them. They are nowhere to be found. If they don't know anything about it, how did they know that Wisdom is dead? That since that time they are looking for them, they did not see them. They are nowhere to be found. I need government to come for justice in this. Please, I need justice. My son suffer a lot. I am in much pain. I'm in pains whereby I cannot be able to sit in this house again. I can't live in this house anymore. The only thing I want, if it can be possible, that they should release my child cough. Let me bury him, if it is possible.
Earlier, the Kaduna State Police Command announced that it has commenced an investigation to ensure that justice is served. They are committed to apprehending and prosecuting those suspected to be responsible for Wisdom's death, according to the law. Bella Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
Right now, in another development, disturbing escalation of violence, bandits have launched a series of brutal attacks on farming communities across Kankara in Katsina State. This past Saturday, nearly 50 farmers were ruthlessly killed near Erugoje town in the area. Now, the attack reached a horrifying new level when a military armored vehicle sent to assist was set ablaze, reportedly resulting in casualties among security personnel. Now, this follows another attack last week where 15 farmers, along with vigilante group members protecting them, were ambushed while working their fields between Mabai and Katsali. Now, these attacks paint a grim picture of the growing insecurity plaguing Kankara's farmlands, with more bodies being discovered and the injured struggling in hospitals. The humanitarian casualty is devastating. Kankara and Katsina State as a whole are crucial agricultural hubs for Nigeria. Now, these relentless attacks directly target food producers, jeopardizing the nation's food security. Now, the farmers too are too afraid to cultivate their lands, and the potential for food shortages looms large across the country. Well, let's get some more insight on this development now. Joining us on the program is Trust TV's Jamil Mabai, who is joining us live from Katsina via phone. Jamil, good evening. Thank you so much for making the time. What more have you learned about this disturbing attack? Hello, Jamil. Hello, Jamil. Not sure if we still have Jamil Mabai on the line. Hello, Jamil. Okay, it looks...
All right, I'm with you. I can hear you.
Okay, Jamil, the question is, what learned in development?
Hello?
Jamil, if you can hear me, the question is, what more have you learned about this development regarding the deaths or the killing of over 50 farmers and the attack on security personnel in Kankara?
Okay, thank you very much. It's really quite unfortunate what, the incidences that have been happening. What we have, or what I have learned so far is last week, Thursday, bandits came to Mabai, which is a farming community in Kankara local government, at around 8 o'clock in the morning. And by that time, farmers were already in their fields trying to, farm. So the bandits came attacking, and the first batch that came with 3 motorcycles, but were repelled by members of the community watch corps, and they were able to repel the bandits, so they left. So after 2 hours, they came back again around 11. And seeing that the community watch corps has repelled the attack, so the farmers felt some relief. So they went back to the farm, accompanied by local vigilante and the Sea Watch. Unknown to them, those bandits that left went back and re-strategized and came back, with almost 23 motorcycles, with each group, taking a different route. So they came and they began to shoot, the farmers. Some were running, the bandits were following them on their motorbikes, and, almost 20 people were killed. Right. This happened last Thursday. 8 days again, 8 days after, the same bandits came to this particular village called Ergoje and Benakwabo. That was where the battle, was intense. It happens yesterday, and reinforcement was called. So the Mopol stationed at Kankara were first to respond to where the event, at the scene. Unfortunately, they couldn't contain the bandits. Witnesses whom I have spoken to and some of my fixers and eyewitnesses told me that the community watch were out of ammunition.
Right.
So they were left helplessly, and they too began to run. And while they were trying to run, the bandits killed 2 of them. And the Mopol that came with their APC, by the time they began engaging the bandits, a witness told me that one of the bandits, they don't know how he did that, but he maneuvered his way and entered and crawled and entered under the what is it called, the APC car. And I don't know what happened. They said they were shooting the guy, and the bullets were not doing anything. So the Mopol inside the car were helpless. The car began to have some fault. So 3 of the Mopols were able to escape.
Right.
Then there was this Mopol that he couldn't escape. He was inside the APC, and the bandits burnt the APC there and then with that Mopol inside. Okay. So this is just the grim reality that is happening. And over 50 people were killed yesterday, and bodies, there are still bodies that I imagine. Right. You understand? So this is to show you the scale and magnitude of what is happening.
Right.
And now, Kaduna South, it's the major, when it comes to food, it's one of the major, parts of Katsina that produces, food.
Yeah. Jamil, which leads me to my next question, Jamil. Was this attack aimed at kidnapping the farmers, leveraging them, to kill them. What is your understanding of,
Okay,
attack by the bandits?
from the witnesses I've interviewed, the bandits came with just one thing, just to kill people and scare them away to leave their farmlands. It's like the bandits are, they're passing a message that you guys are not going to farm, and if you dare go to farm, we'll come and we'll kill you, and it doesn't matter. If you decide to go in the evening or afternoon or morning, nobody, no farmer can escape. And one thing that it's intriguing. It's the growing audacity of these bandits, because usually bandits attack in the dead of night or in the evening. So now these bandits are no longer attacking in the during those hours. They now attack in the early hours. Imagine by 8 a.m. They were repelled, and they came back around 11 p.m. Sorry, right. 11 a.m.
Right.
So the motivation or the what they are after is just to scare the farmers.
Right. Okay.
So that people cannot farm, and when people cannot farm, then definitely hunger.
Yeah. Right.
And those people are not entrepreneurs. All they depend is their farms.
Right. Okay. Jamil, it's quite a very disturbing situation, and I understand that the information is still trickling in. Thank you very much for the update, and I'm sure we'll circle back to more of these developments as we learn about what the authorities are doing to restore order back in those affected areas. Thank you so much for the updates. Jamil Mabaida, Trust TV's correspondent in Katsina, reporting us insight on the recent development in Katsina State with regards to an attack over the weekend that led to the death or the killing of close to 50 farmers and some police personnel who were providing reinforcement in that area following those 2 attacks by the bandits on farmers in the area. We'll bring you more as soon as we'll have more information. Moving on elsewhere, the curfew imposed on the Mangu local government area of Plateau State in the wake of violent attacks on communities in the area has been lifted 5 days after the stay-at-home order was issued by the government. In a statement signed by the Director of Press and Public Affairs, Gyang Bere, the decision to lift the order by Governor Caleb Muftuang was taken after careful consultation with the State Security Council, given a return of normalcy to the affected communities. Now, the decision is also to pave the way for residents in the communities to engage in agricultural and economic activities. The statement says Muftuang encourages community leaders across the divide of faith and ethnicity to continue with strategic dialogue and nurturing trust, fostering tolerance and promoting better understanding among people in the region. Now, in a remarkable display of bravery, troops of the Nigerian Army deployed for internal security duties have successfully thwarted a kidnap attempt by a suspected terrorist group along the Ugeli-Patani Road in Delta State. Now, the troops' swift reaction to a distress call resulted in the rescue of passengers who had been kidnapped while traveling in a commercial bus. The troops, upon receiving the distress call, rapidly mobilized and confronted the terrorists who were armed and with assorted weapons. A fierce firefight ensued, compelling the terrorists to abandon their captives and flee the scene.
Army don't help you. If not for the help of Nigerian Army, hey, come down. They have kidnapped us. Some people are missing till now. Our properties were taken. Thanks for the soldiers. Our drivers and others are missing. We just they talk and say these people they worry. We just they talk for see. We see on our when we just talk. We say thank God son a day. We they talk am. We did hear one gunshot.
Back here in Abuja, the bill, or rather, to developments relating to the National Assembly, the bill proposing the ranching of livestock in Nigeria, which recently passed its second reading in the House of Assembly has sparked ongoing debate among Nigerians. In Benue State, reactions to the bill sponsored by Senator Titus Zam of Benue North have been mixed. We'll bring you more on that report by Jimmy Azande in a short while. Elsewhere, a group of lawmakers in the House of Representatives are seeking alterations to the 1999 Constitution to pave the way for the rotation of the presidency among the socio-political zones in the country. They also want an amendment to the Constitution to provide for a, quote, single tenure of 6 years for the President and governors of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Speaking on behalf of the group on Monday in Abuja, the member representing Idiato South and Idiato North Federal Constituency in Imo State, Ikenga Ogochinyere, says if implemented, it will reduce spending and wastages, create efficiency in governance and national stability.
Because you will have those interested in the presidency, in the governorship, in the state assembly, in the national assembly, in the local government, all turning up to vote for their different candidates. Each of the polling units will be populated, and that can help to provide a lot of defense.
Those of us from Kogi State and Benue State, for example, knows what is happening in our states, if not by divine intervention. There are people from my own zone and from the Kogi Central that we were able to have it after 16 or so years from the other senatorial district. I'm sure those of you from Benue State know what is happening. If this can be accepted and adopted in the new coming constitution that is being proposed, the reviewed constitution, it will bring harmony and more development to those states.
Security and inclusiveness of all of us. You also will agree that at different times our interests could differ. Some persons would want to travel home because they have a candidate who wants to contest for probably the House of Assembly. And the other elections won't have anything to do with them, they don't bother. So if you aggregate diverse interests, you would find out that voter turnout would definitely improve.
We want to ensure that all potential of young people is utilized. That is by providing opportunity for a rotation from the presidency to the governorship and to local government election. Given this full participation, you will understand that people will have roles to play at different levels.
Now, River State High Court sitting in Port Harcourt has affirmed the Martin Amehule and the 26 other lawmakers of the State House of Assembly, declaring that they are still members of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, delivering the judgment in Port Harcourt on Monday in a case filed by Hyacinth Amadi and Godspal Obua, as well as Tonye Darius, seeking to declare the seats of the 27 lawmakers as vacant. Justice Okobule Basam of the River State High Court held that the claimants failed to prove that the defendants, Martins Emehule and 26 others, had actually defected to the APC. Justice Basam held that the membership of a party is only proven by being listed on the party's register or by a membership card, and the television ceremonies and or verbal statements aren't enough to show same. The PDP had filed a motion to join in the case and were also added as the fourth defendant.
Well, the case was about challenging the seat of the members of the State House of Assembly, led by the Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable Martins Chike Amehule. The claimant has sought the relief of the court to declare their seats vacant. And of course, with what happened in court today, it's quite obvious they are unable to prove that indeed they have defected from PDP and has joined the APC. It's an issue of hard facts and of course the law. You don't just imagine defection and assume that it has occurred. It's something that must be predicated in law. And of course, you must be seen to have proved that. Well, for the fact that there are similar matters in other courts, I may not be able to go further into this. But for the purposes of what has happened or the decision in the matter, At the instant matter, the justice is well served and quite predicated in law.
Staying in the south, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State has been elected as the chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum. His election occurred during a closed-door meeting in Lagos attended by all 6 governors from the southwestern states. Sanwo-Olu succeeded the late Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who served as the forum's chairman until his passing back in December of last year.
The forum unanimously nominated and adopted the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, as its chairman. 2, the forum paid last respect to the late chairman of the Southwest Forum, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, FCN, and also congratulated the new governor of Ondo State, Excellency Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa, and also for winning APC governorship ticket for the next election in Ondo State. The governors adopted Isewa Fun Ile Wa as the Southwest anthem going forward.
Elsewhere, Nigeria's government has officially launched a freight train service from APM terminals in Apapa, Lagos State to Dala Inland Dry Port in Kano. The Minister of Transportation, Senator Ahmad Alkali, presided over the inaugural train service at Dala Inland Dry Port in Kano. During the inauguration, the minister says the flag-off will open business to the international environment as it will make import and export much easier from northern Nigeria to the rest of the world. Alkali says the initiative is part of a series of activities undertaken by the Federal Ministry of Transportation to operationalize and sustain efficient rail services in the country. Now, transforming Nigeria's nutritional landscape has become increasingly challenging due to the rising food inflation and ongoing economic crisis in the country. Now, these issues pose severe health risks to the population if poor nutrition remains unchecked. In this report, Trust TV's Aisha Saliu speaks to an expert in the sector who advocates for alternative methods to achieve optimum and sustainable nutritional standards across the country. Her report.
Nutrition and food security are fundamental pillars of human development, but Nigeria continues to face significant challenges with at least 25 million of its population at risk of malnutrition and hunger. This has resulted in poor nutrition and dietary standards, leading many households to resort to eating less and cutting down on the required balanced diet.
To buy 1 mood of peas now, almost 3,000 naira. 1 mood of rice, almost 2,005. Everywhere dry. We don't have, only God we hope in short. All of our, like us, our pharmacists, we are suffering for this Nigeria. Only God will help us.
Even Buhari, we will say that Buhari time is far better than now. So we are pleading government to do something about it because we can't survive. Very soon we'll still seeing maybe children suffering for kwashiorkor because they cannot feed the way they are feeding before.
Definitely, you cannot be talking about balanced diet. What do you mean by balanced diet? You can't talk about balanced diet, but if you are educated someone, it's you that knows what they call balanced diet. Some people may not know what is balanced diet, but me, I know that if I took pap in the morning, I can take maybe rice in the afternoon. If the night comes, fine. If it not come, I continue the one that I took in the morning to balance my diet.
Before we can say we don't eat garri, we don't do this. Now, any day you even see the garri to soak, you thank God. If at all you can afford a garri, because you can't even afford it.
In addressing the situation, a nutritionist says Nigerians must now begin to look towards the areas of cultivating agricultural produce within their environment and seek alternative sources of food classes to make up the unaffordable ones in the market.
Veggies are very, very important for our health, and part of the veggies is part of the adequate diet we are talking about. What we mean by adequate diet is that the 5 classes of food should be included, and veggies are those nutrients that give immunity to the body. They give our vitamins and minerals. Vegetables, the plant source of protein, we have our soya bean, we have our beans, we have our tiger nut and all those coconut and all those ones. Those are part of like for the soya milk and the soya beans, you can use the form of meat.
Despite Nigeria's current high food inflation, there is a growing call for increased awareness about the benefits of returning to the consumption of indigenous foods and spices. These nutrient-rich options can significantly enhance the health and well-being of the population. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching the news hour on Trust TV. Still to come. Our Yo Fishing Festival showcases cultural heritage and economic potentiality. Details of this and many more stories up ahead after the break. Welcome back to the news hour. Let's take another look at our top stories. Uncertainty looms over fresh strike as tripartite committee submits its minimum wage report. Police investigation underway into death of 13-year-old boy in Kaduna. The National Emergency Management Agency has delivered over 35,000 bags of assorted grains to Katsina residents as part of efforts to cushion the current economic crisis in the country, occasioned by the removal of fuel subsidy and uncontrolled inflation hitting hard on Nigerians. Now, the grains was received by the Katsina State Emergency Management Agency for onward distribution to the 34 local government areas across the state. Abdullah Yamani tells us more.
During the distribution of the assorted grains to the 34 local government areas of Katsina State, some residents expressed gratitude to President Bola Tinubu-led federal government for supporting them at this crucial moment. They also thanked Governor Radda and the Executive Secretary Sema for ensuring judicious distribution of the grains, saying each local government was allocated about 1,000 bags of grains for distribution to people at the grassroots level.
Yes, we are here to collect over 900 bags of assorted grains due for Sandemu local government. Our responsibility is to ensure fairness in the distribution of the grains. Honestly, the government has done well, looking at the critical condition our people find themselves. We thank God for this.
At this trying time, this kind of assistance is very crucial. I will use this medium to appreciate the federal government for the support. This is a welcome development. We have been given maize, millet, and sorghum. Kindly tell Governor Radda that the message has been delivered successfully and well received. In Bindawa here, this assistance means a lot because many families doesn't have what to eat today. As such, if they receive this, it will help them in no small measure to cushion their hardship. It is important if governments can engage wealthy individuals to complement the gesture. While acknowledging the support, some Katsina residents reminded President Bola Tinubu to focus attention on insecurity bedeviling some northwestern states, which is key calling for a swift action to secure the states at least to enable farming communities cultivate their farms. The Executive Secretary of SEMA, Binta Angani, while appreciating the federal government for the gesture, said the agency will go around the 34 local government areas to ensure even distribution of the grains.
We give them food items here in our office. That's the blind people, the cripples, the deaf, and so on. Then from there, we did a lot of programs across the 34 local government. Then there is one
Binta Dangani also added that Governor Radda mandated her to ensure that only the targeted population benefits from the gesture. Public commentators in Katsina who acknowledged the donation of the grains called on the governments to take the bull by the horn to secure the region from banditry and other criminal elements to enable people to produce food, which is better than donations that are insufficient and not sustainable. Abdullahi Izumayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And in Borno State, the state government has lauded the Food and Agriculture Organization for boosting the resilience of vulnerable households and resettled communities by providing farming inputs to encourage food security in Borno State. Acting Governor of Borno State, Usman Kadafur, announced the commencement of the 2024 rainy season input distribution in Maiduguri, the state capital, targeting 26,750 beneficiaries in northeast Nigeria. The FAO project will also support 9,000 households across 7 local councils. The acting governor emphasized that agricultural productivity is a top priority for the Borno State government, as outlined in its 25-year development plan and 10-year strategic transformation initiative. These plans aim to make farmers self-reliant and ensure sustainable food security in Borno State. The distributed farm implements include improved seeds of cereals, legumes, maize and fertilizers, among other items. The initiative is designed to mitigate the expected high acute food insecurity resulting from the increased population in Borno, Adamawa and Yobe states.
Government will continue to solicit the cooperation of international organizations, especially our international partners and non-governmental bodies, in our determined effort to address the multifarious challenges of development confronting the states, with a view to improving the well-being and livelihood of our people.
FAO strategy aims to build and strengthen agri-food system in the country for better production, better nutrition, better environment, better life, and leave no one behind.
Now, recognizing the social and economic benefits of preserving cultural heritage is key to promoting growth and development. Now, this was highlighted at the Jigawa Fishing Festival held at the Kalugwe Dam in Auyo local government area of Hadejia Emirate in the state. Here's the report.
For the first time in 8 years, the festival brought together fishermen from various villages within the Hadejia Emirate. The participants showcased their fishing skills with catches ranging from 0 to 100 kilograms while impressing the audience. Despite some fishermen expressing concerns about the river's fish population, others found the catches during the competition to be commendable. The Jigawa state government said it organized the festival to promote unity, peace, and open new economic opportunities for the participating communities.
I'm the Commissioner for Agriculture at Jigawa State, and we have done a lot. We were given all the necessary support to organize this event. This is one of our activities. You know how our culture is, and we have fishermen in the state. Therefore, when we come to this Hadejia, this is the third time when it was prepared. Alhamdulillah, we get all the necessary support from His Excellency. And you see how you see the situation now. Everybody is happy.
We thank God for really giving us the opportunity to witness yet another annual fishing festival here in Kalugwe. It is an annual fishing festival that showcase the potential that we have in the fisheries. And this one is going to be a different one from the other years, because this one, in this festival, we intend to showcase our water potentials, our natural potentials, so that we attract investors into the fishing industry.
Governor Umar Namadi praised the fishermen's efforts and promised that the festival would become an annual event to capitalize on the fishing sector's economic potential.
And so we are doing the third one today. And this fishing festival is very, very important to us because it's part of our 12-point agenda, both of agriculture, fishery, and also animal husbandry. Therefore, today we are also fulfilling one of our 12 points agenda, and looking at the turnout of people and the way they have shown interest in this, we feel this is an event that we will continue to do it yearly, not after taking a long period like this.
Winners in various competition categories, including the biggest fish catcher, calabash floating race, swimming, underwater stamina, and tug of war between butchers and fishermen, received prizes such as motorcycles, sewing machines, grinding machines, water pumps, and cash rewards ranging from 50,000 to 500,000 naira.
Interesting scenes there from Jigawa. To Adamawa State now, where 2 weeks after its inauguration of Operation Whirlwind of the Nigeria Customs Service, it says it has seized 150,950 litres of petroleum product valued at over 105 million naira nationwide. The announcement was made by the Customs Controller General Bashir Adewale Adeni at a press conference in Yola, the Adamawa State capital. Here's Trust TV's Gibson Swadigo with more on the story.
Upon arrival, Customs Comptroller General Bashir Adewale Adeni inspected the guard of honor as a tradition. He was welcomed at the Customs Office in Yola and Taraba Command by all security commanders, both military and paramilitary, in Adamawa State. During the press briefing, Adeni revealed that Operation Whirlwind had achieved significant success just 2 weeks after its inauguration, seizing large quantities of petroleum products illegally evacuated to neighboring countries. He emphasized that Operation Whirlwind, initiated by the Office of the Security Advisor to the President, will continue to remain vigilant against the illicit activities of smugglers targeting petroleum.
Nigeria Customs Service will continue to engage and collaborate with relevant licensing agencies to more optimally manage the proliferation of petroleum stations around border areas.
Bashir gave a breakdown of the number of sieges carried out by the Operation Whirlwind.
Thursday, 6th of May 2024, 6th of June 2024, I beg your pardon, a total of 20,000 litres of PMS in 25 and 30 litre jerry cans were seized in various locations across the country, including Mahia, Adamawa State, Ilela in Sokoto State, and Agbaraga Creek in Mfum border of Cross River State.
Obugo Okoa, the Executive Director of Nigerian Mainstream Downstream Petroleum Regulatory, has expressed concerns over the increasing cross-border diversion of petroleum, labeling it as economic sabotage. He emphasized that those found guilty of such activities will be dealt with severely.
Effective from 1st October 2022, exports and imports of petroleum products across the land borders was prohibited. And so, any truck, any petroleum product that is found close to the border must be seized and enforced against.
Operation Whirlwind aims to ensure Nigerians enjoy the full benefits of fuel price deregulation, defend the national currency, and reduce the pressure caused by smuggling activities, among other objectives. Gibson Soadugu, Trust TV News, Yola.
Well, let's bring you up to date with the latest in the world of business. Here's Yusuf Akogu for today's business news update.
Welcome to Business News. I am Yusuf Akogo. The National Bureau of Statistics has revealed that export of agricultural goods from Nigeria to other countries increased by 123% over the value recorded in the fourth quarter of 2023. The figure also represents an increase of 270% when compared to the 279.64 billion naira recorded in Q1 of 2023. The report added that sesame seed accounted for 247.75 billion naira, superior quality cocoa beans 231 billion naira, and standard quality cocoa beans recorded 140 billion naira worth of exports. According to NBS report on foreign trade in goods statistics for Q1 2024, most of the agricultural products were exported to Asia and Europe. The government of the United Kingdom says it attracted $85 million investment to the Nigerian manufacturing sector through its Manufacturing Africa program since 2020. Deputy British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Johnny Baxter, disclosed it at a ceremony to announce the funding of 3 Nigerian-based clean energy companies to expand renewable energy assets in the country. According to a statement by a senior press and public affairs officer at the British High Commission in Amaka Eze, a Manufacturing Africa program has so far supported 31 Nigerian companies to raise investment in sectors including agro-processing, industrial parks, pharmaceuticals, vehicle manufacturing, e-mobile, and renewable energy. Manufacturing Africa is an initiative of the UK government through its Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office aimed at supporting the sustainable growth of the manufacturing sector in Africa by attracting £1.2 billion of foreign direct investment to the sector between 2019 and 2026. Nigeria's equities market opened the week slightly in green amid pockets of bargain in small to medium cap equities. Let's see how it went down today. Leading the gainers there is Flour Mill Nigeria PLC gaining 10% to close at 41 naira and 80 kobo per share. Total Nigerian PLC 9.898% it gained to close at 353 naira and 60 kobo per share. Of course, Access Corporation 9.86% to close at 18 naira and 95 kobo per share. Of course, this has pushed up the market by 0.53%. Volume of trade 963.540 million shares, valued at 13.497 billion naira in a days of 8,657 did exchanges among investors today. Of course, some equities dominated the top trading equities there. Leading that table is Fidelity Bank Nigeria PLC, 597.256 million shares traded. Access Corporation, 91.447 million shares. Of course, UBA, 55.149 million shares traded at the end of business this Monday. Of course, some equities also ended on the losing side of the market. Leading that table is Entransat, down there 9.90% to close at 4 naira and 55 kobo per share. Darcom also down 9.52% to close at 57 kobo per share. Of course, Tantalizer also down on the negative side, 8.51% to close at 43 kobo per share. That's the highlight of stock trading as it went down this Monday on the floor of NGS. Let's see the global stock market and exchange rate data for today. Oil prices edged up on Monday, buoyed by hopes of rising fuel demand this summer, though gains were curbed by strengthening of the dollar on receding expectation of imminent cuts to the U.S. interest rates. At the London market, Brent crude sells for $80 per barrel. For the copper basket, price steadies at $78 per barrel. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akogu.
To developments on the international scene now, a military plane carrying Malawi's Vice President Saulos Chilima and 9 other persons has gone missing, prompting a search operation according to the President's office. The aircraft carrying 51-year-old Vice President departed from the capital, Lilongwe, on Monday morning, but failed to make its scheduled landing at the Nzuzu International Airport, approximately 370 kilometers to the north. The plane took off after 9 a.m. local time and lost contact with aviation authorities when it went off the radar about 45 minutes later, according to a statement from Malawian President Lazarus Chakwera's office. Upon being informed of the missing plane by the head of the Malawian Armed Forces, the president ordered an immediate search and rescue operation and cancelled a planned trip to the Bahamas. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has arrived Egypt on Monday at the start of a regional tour to push for a much-awaited Gaza ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Blinken is expected to hold a closed-door meeting with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in Cairo before heading to Jerusalem later on Monday to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Egypt, the first Arab state to recognize Israel and sign a peace treaty back in 1979, has long mediated between Israeli and Palestinian officials. Sisi and Blinken are expected to discuss plans to reopen the Rafah border crossing between Egypt and Gaza, a key conduit for aid into the besieged territory, which has been closed for a month since Israeli troops seized its Palestinian side. The top U.S. diplomat's 8th visit to the region since war broke out in early October last year is intended to gather support for a proposal announced back in May this year by U.S. President Joe Biden. Well, let's bring you the latest in sports. Here's Adeni Ajishafi with the latest.
Super Eagles of Nigeria failed to revive their chance of qualifying for the 2026 World Cup after losing 2-1 away to Benin Republic on match day 4 in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, on Monday evening in Group C. The match began with both teams striving for dominance before Rafael Yedika opened scoring in the 27th minute for the Eagles when Samuel Chukwueze moved inside the box from the right flank before finding Onyedika on the edge of the box as the Club Brugge midfielder fired home to beat Benin goalkeeper Marcel Danjino. Benin Republic would draw level in the 36th minute when Calvin Bassey failed to clear a long ball as Jode Dosu slot past Nigerian goalie Stanley Wabali. The Cheetahs of Benin scored the second goal through skipper Steve Money to make it 2-1 against Nigeria in a crucial lead, which they maintained till final whistle. Super Eagles are without a win after 4 matches, standing 5th in Group C, with Benin Republic top with 7 points. Coach Finidi George now faces a daunting task to secure a World Cup ticket for Nigeria. And still on football, Federation of International Football Association FIFA is set to approve new law allowing top football leagues to play at least a match in their league campaigns abroad. Development means fans will soon witness Premier League, La Liga, Serie A or Ligue 1 matches taking place in countries such as the United States. The potential for hosting these high-profile matches in other nations has generated excitement among football enthusiasts and stakeholders, signaling a significant step toward globalizing football, bringing thrilling league action closer to fans worldwide. The proposal aims to enhance international appeal of top-tier football. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
And that is the size of our bulletin for you tonight. Thank you most kindly for joining us. We encourage you as always to follow us across our social media platforms to stay in touch and also to get more of our contents. Do check out our website trusttv.com for the latest news and documentaries. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. From myself and the rest of the team, thank you for your time and company and good night.